It's John from Two Rivers Reviews with one of the new Marlin 357s. This is the just released CST model, which is stainless steel and actually comes threaded for a suppressor. So this is not exactly how it comes. I went ahead and I put a XS Sights Systems Scout Rail on it, and I've got a SIG Romeo 5 red dot on here just for right now. I don't know that I'm going to keep it that way. Not a lot of reviews on the new Marlin 357s, and overall I'd like to say that I'm very happy with this one. I was looking forward to this rifle since they announced it at SHOT. I really wanted a threaded 357 Magnum. I like the idea of being able to run the 38s subsonic and to not have any action movement unless I wanted it to occur. Overall fit and finish is actually pretty good. The Remlin Marlins did scare me. I've got an old JM Marlin. It's fantastic, and I've been pleased with it for many years. So getting one of the new Remlin Marlins did scare me, and I did see a couple little places that really weren't what I would have wanted to see. Overall fit and finish is great. Wood to stock fitment, wood to metal is very good. Everything's very symmetrical, all the cuts. There's a little tiny gap right here at the very end, but nothing that would concern me. Wood fitment in here is very good. I didn't know what I would think of the black painted wood stock with just the speckle finish, and it looks like somebody just took a paintbrush with bed liner and just kind of flicked it at the stock. Not super high end for what is basically a $1,000 rifle, but it feels good. Its shoulder's pretty good for the actual sights that came on it. Overall fit and finish is very good. The trigger was actually better than expected. I took it out and I put about 100 rounds down the tube this past week, and overall I'm very happy. Trigger feels like probably about a 4.5 pound trigger. It's got a little bit of that Marlin, what they call the Marlin flop in it. But once you actually pull back, and we are open here, there's no rounds in it. But once you do pull the trigger all the way back, the brake's nice. I have absolutely no complaints about the trigger. When I did a breakdown, internals look pretty good. There's a few machining marks here and there, but nothing that you would actually see unless you took the rifle apart. Accuracy seemed fine. It just had the sights on it at the time. And we'll get back to the sights in a minute there, because that is my primary concern with this rifle. There were a couple sharp edges. The edges of the hammer were exceedingly sharp, and I just took a little jeweler's file and knocked some of the edges off of it because it was sharp enough to cut you. But let's get back to the sights. XS Sights make fantastic sights. Really grade A products. But the rifle has to be drilled right for the sights. And for me, the front sight was at about the 1 o'clock, 1:30 position. Pretty far off of square and almost a little bit off of the barrel where they drilled it. Luckily, I'm in a little shop right now that I used to do all the little custom knife work that you've probably seen me posting. So I did have the tools. I ended up having to reprofile the bottom of the front sight to bring it into alignment with the rear sight. There was no way to just change it. There was no way to adjust the rear sight over enough to get a good sight picture. I actually had to reprofile the bottom of the front sight, which you might be able to see, to bring it into alignment. Now that that's done, it does shoot straight. I've also had to adjust the rear sight as far up as it'll go where the adjustment screws will still engage. So I'm probably going to end up taking the front sight down a little bit with the file. And by bringing the front sight down, I should be able to bring the rear sight down and still keep my sights on. I can't even really see the sights now with the red dot on it, but it would bother me to know that they were not on. And I really don't like having that rear sight extended as high up as it is right now, just because it's more likely to catch on things, and it doesn't need to be. There's no need for that. Overall, I'm very happy with the rifle. It cycled wonderfully. It caught on the ejector in here, some aluminum cased ammo. But my other JM does the same thing with the aluminum case. With brass, it was absolutely flawless. The Wild West style big loop that it comes with is great. You could use it with the glove, no problem. I've been playing with it with gloves and without. The holes at the front of the receiver, which you would normally use for a scope, also at the back that's here covered by the sight, lined up perfectly for the rail. Everything feels really solid. Action's nice and smooth and just keeps getting smoother. I've been running snap caps through it just to constantly work the action. The loading gate's really stiff, but it's going to be with a new rifle. The threading is perfect, which is really, if you buy this rifle, you're buying it because it comes threaded, and it comes with the magazine tube being slightly shorter than the shoulder on the barrel, so that you could thread a suppressor down. Overall, for one of the new Marlins, for one of the Remlins, whatever you're going to call it, they've been doing this for a couple years. They just started re-releasing the 357s. I'm happy with the rifle itself. This is not the normal kind of sight that they would use, and they probably don't have a lot of experience drilling for these in the way that they would for just their normal sight package, which dovetails in here and up front. So this is new for them. With a little bit of tweaking, it's worked out just fine. The excess scout rails can be a little bit tricky to mount. A lot of times the fitment is off. In this case, it was absolutely perfect. So I really do feel like the rifle itself is machined very, very well. And really, for a new rifle, couldn't get much smoother. I wouldn't want it any smoother than this, because I want parts to be able to wear into each other. So overall, Marlin 1894 CST. Look at the sights before you buy it. There aren't many of these out yet, so if you see one where the sights are off, just be aware of the fact that it may take some time and some effort to get those sights to end up working out for you. A good file, a good round file, could probably get you there if yours are canted. I ended up using a little belt grinder that I have, but I would think a good round file could get you there if you don't have a powered tool. You could probably use a Dremel, but Dremels and guns tends to scare me. Overall, probably an 8 out of 10, because most of the machine work is great. Trigger is a pleasant surprise. And feeding in action worked great with brass cased ammo. So Marlin 1894 CST and 357. Hadn't seen a video of one of these since it came out. Overall, I'm pretty darn happy with it. Here you can see some of the machining on the top of the bolt, but that's not going to affect anything. I hope this was mildly informative.